week. It's just gorgeous the last couple of days.
Field 230 field.
Nelly playing the
Really
par
good.
5 7th, and Paige is out watching.
That's right. 248 yards to the front edge. There is a helping wind here. Slight downhill lie. So don't want to try to force it to come up. It just may come out a little bit lower.
Yeah, it's a very accessible hole location today, Paige, on that front right.
Certainly came out low.
And left.
Pretty hard.
She's on.
Third shot for Nelly Korda at the par 5 7th.
Pretty straightforward shot. Everything will release towards the hole once it lands in the green.
All right, that'll be for birdie. Nelly has birdied every par 5 she's played this week. 9 for 9, but Paige, this would be a steal, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was a little surprised at how aggressive that downslope was that she landed on. It seemed to have surprised her, but the good news is it's back up the hill from here. It should be a relatively straight putt coming back up the hill.
Wondered if she might chip that as... Let's move up one to the 8th to see Nelly Korda's tee shot.
Less than driver. It's 277 to this left bunker through the fairway on that line.
It's heading in that direction. Needs a soft bounce.
You don't get a lot of soft bounces here, do you? This week,
Look at
Wei Zhang, so a chance for the 19-year-old from Wuhan, China, to maybe make a big splash. Nelly just did come up short of that bunker. Here's her second.
Jumped on her a little bit coming out of that rough. It's dormant Bermuda. Not messing with that bunker on this hole. Leave a longer shot in. She's pretty far back.
Nelly for birdie at 8.
Two-part putt here. It's got a ridge in the middle. Picking up speed, yep.
It's not too dissimilar to the putt we saw Ayaka Foodaway. Distance. Saw how close that is to the right fall off.
From the par 4 8th to the par 4 9th, Nelly Korda.
Trying to cut the corner a little bit with this driver. It's 230 over the tree on the corner.
There are some holes out here where being able to carry it as
All week, she would make a bogey later. Nelly at the 6th for birdie. Her second of the day, and that moved her into... We'll keep it here for Nelly's second.
Just 82 yards. The wind has shifted a little bit from maybe more right to left to much more down for the players. So Nelly would have seen that big first hop. Ball is spinning on the second bounce. Well judged.
It's been a tough hole today. Less than half the field has hit this green in regulation. So shallow on the left side. Really practice.
Here is Nelly at the 9th for birdie.
Bit of a tentative stroke there.
Came from 2 back on Sunday to win this event last year. It was the 3rd of 5 in a row.
That was a misjudgment there, trying to check why that landed so far.
Making the turn to the par 3 10th, Nelly Korda. Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. No, it was poor contact right off the face. It sounded weird and looked even worse.
Yeah, I think just chunked it. Not something you really...
Par to stay in front by 1. Nelly at the 10th.
It's going to be a lengthy bump and run from this position. coming in hot.
It's weird, almost just really jumped on her, almost as if she got a flyer from the apron.
Making her way to the 10th. That's where Nelly Korda is. This is a par putt for Nelly.
You can see it's a bit shiny there until the very end of the putt. Downhill to begin, then back uphill into the green. Those were two shots she walked over after very quickly.
To the 11th after the bogey, Nelly Korda.
Less than driver, just trying to hug the left side of this fairway. Everything slopes to the right when it lands.
Might put a soft bounce there, but that'll be just fine.
There to stay at 13 under. Nelly second at 11.
120 yards. Whole location in the top ridge today.
Right there. Come back.
First drop shot of the day for you. Nelly's third at 11.
Guys, though, having been heavy-handed on the last two shots, having them go over the green to come up short.
Chance to pick up a shot, maybe two here at the 12th. Nelly second.
3-wood out of this dormant Bermuda. Came out very low. It's 230 to the front.
Just settle down just below the putting surface there. It almost looked like she tried to keep it low. Too often you see someone try and punch a 3-wood.
That shot back that she dropped at 10. Here's the third of the par 5 12th for Nelly Korda.
A steep face once this ball hits the green, back up the hill.
Wow.
That's shocking. Two great shots to that point. Disappointing to flub that kind of chip shot for Nelly.
There. And this is now for birdie for Nelly Korda.
Considering she birdied every par 5 the first two.
At the 13th, the second for Nelly Korda.
It's going to be a flighted one back into the wind on this hole. Playing quite long today.
Yeah, that's back there. Shot.
Mom made her a steak last night. It's kind of her lucky meal.
Nelly for birdie at 13. Just trying to hang in. Some weird shots that she's hit. Weird for Nelly for sure. So Vu leads by 3. Nelly Korda's in that group 4 back, and Nelly has found the fairway bunker at 14, which is certainly better than going left.
It's just a tricky hole. Tricky.
23 and then
Right up and down for birdie at 12.
yards out of the
Up and down
bunker.
for par
Into the wind,
at
probably
13.
playing at least a +45
Now Nelly.
to the front. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, I think you play the right play. I think you're going to try to overswing the 8. I think you just play your 155-7. There's definitely 8 turns. Plus you're in a bunker. Pick your good target out. Off to your right. I like this, especially right now.
Yeah, good amount of wind into her. The lip could potentially pose a problem, but really I think she's just trying to cover that front edge, which is 126 into the wind.
Favor a little right here, Paige.
Yeah, and this, it's gonna try to challenge that front edge.
He sounded like she caught that just a fraction heavy, but aiming far enough to the right to give her. Those were some pretty blustery conditions too.
True. Third for Nelly at 14.
No one better from this type of chip. She's had a couple today that made her look human. This, a pretty good judge of pace.
Yeah, well done.
It was a bunched up leaderboard last year on Sunday going into that final round of this championship. And now Nelly at 15.
133, plays 4 yards downhill. She has 9-iron here. Back into the wind. Getting knocked down by the wind. But not bad position.
See if Nelly can finish strong here with really tightening up now. And Nelly Korda has a chance to pick up a shot at 15.
Just slightly uphill back towards this hole.
Everybody has missed that putt to the left. Not reading it properly, expecting it to fall.
Lilia perhaps headed toward another Sunday showdown. On the tee now at 16. Nelly with the driver.
Trying to get something to stay right of that bunker.
All right, we saw Nelly up just short and left of that bunker at 16. Here's her second. Here's her birdie putt. Just can't really get anything going. The 10th hole was the weird one.
3 paces too far, just on the top of the ridge.
Nelly for her par at 16. Really surprising. Nelly said she really wasn't sure. It's been 7 weeks since she played. Took a 7-week break last year, came back and won. Not easily, but came back and won 4 in a row after the break, and now she's going to drop another Morgan, and she's now 4 back.
She's been really solid, like maybe just slightly off-center impact there, but as her first 3 putt of the week, she's been really solid from that distance.
A hole where you're thinking birdie.
Especially being greenside off.
And Nelly really needs to get something going on the tee at this par 5.
Needs to keep it down the right side. Everything in the center and left kicks to the left. That'll hang in there. Maybe not.
Could have easily kicked right into that bunker. You can see her trying to use some body language there to keep it in.
Okay, Paige, how about Nelly's second?
You may have to watch some twigs growing out of the ground right behind her club.
Aggressive
That was
play.
209 yards to the hole. Is headed right.
Aggressive play out of the desert there, but not a bad leave. Plenty of green to work with.
This is where a lot of people who play this course are going to be, Morgan. So how would you advise someone to play this shot?
You gotta keep your lower body really still, which is hard when you have such a long club in your hand, when you're trying to generate some power. Like she just got slightly ahead of that. But that's where she wants to miss it.
Head down a little bit for Nelly. One lipped out for birdie at 15, but the nice comeback at 16. Got a good chance for birdie here at 17. We saw Nelly Korda in the bunker in 2, and so now this for birdie.
And a good look. It's been a little bit scrappy for Nelly. Lost some of the consistency we saw earlier in the round.
She's very, you don't often see Nelly hit putts that hard. She's hit a couple that have ran by the hole, almost trying to force it maybe a little bit to push her way back up this leaderboard.
The end of that front 9, right around that hole 10, 9 or 10, when Nelly's consistency seemed to lose some of that consistency. Whereas Nana, on the other hand, had a couple bogeys, and then all of a sudden her game picked up and she started striking it a little better. So just an interesting dynamic today, and a little bit of that timing that we've been talking so much about this week.
Yeah, it's the first week of the new pace of play policy, and if you've been warned and then you get a bad time, if you go 6 seconds.
Of the way she has rebounded after those struggles on 14.
Maybe this is what Nelly needs. A moment with some youngsters.
I think it's someone's pen. Can I get
Grinding.
Nelly was 2 back when the round began. She was 1 back when she made the turn. Now 6 off the lead.
240 yards to carry the bunker on the left.
Pressure of trying to win this tournament.
Well, it's not been the back nine that Nelly Korda had hoped for, and Paige mentioned it. They were warned, and Paige, even the great Nelly Korda, can have 9 holes off every now and then.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's felt very, very scrappy, and I'm sure she's going to be disappointed with certain holes around the back nine, but she still keeps her head up, still tries to make those putts, still tries to score, and is put together around that. She's not completely shot herself out of this. We've seen a lot of low scores that this golf course has given up, and so for her, as she walks into this final hole, it's really going to be about trying to get 1 back on this final hole. Wonderful drive off of this tee.
She had to err on the long side.
So trying to land it as close to that.
what's the over?
75.
Less variables for Nelly. She's on a much flatter lie. 84 yards front, or excuse me, 84 yards hole.
Set up quite
Still
a bit right
expect-
here, Paige.
Yeah, she's the ball slightly above her feet. Expect a big first hop. Ooh. Came out at groove low.
Wow. 3.
Out of sorts today for Nelly. Some shots that we don't typically see her hit. It does happen. Just usually comes down to the basics: alignment, tempo. Tendency, if anything, would be to get a little bit long with her back.
Inside that Ford Mustang Mach-E. What a great view of Nelly Korda. Not where Nelly wanted to be, but a third here.
Very short-sighted, needs to hit it high and soft.
It's the lie there.
Sitting down in break mark there. Tough to get spin from that type of a lie.
So a 320.
Right there with the chance. I feel like it's the story. Haven't had their best stuff, these golfers, but there's still time.
Nelly for par. It's going to be a round of 73 for Nelly. She's had multiple comebacks on Sunday to win, but never from more than 2 back. As of now, she's 7 behind Lily Abu.
She's the only player in the top 30 with an over par round.
Junho will play with Yelimino tomorrow. In one of the late tee times, Nelly's making some young fans happy. While we have a moment, let's send it down to Kay.